Hey everyone! Today I'm starting a series about chicken keeping, and the first video here is going to be all about chicken housing because that should be one of the first things that you consider before getting chickens. And I have my trusty helpers here to go over some of that information with us. Hi! What you doing? Oh, you don't have to leave. Okay, so I have several other videos featuring our coop. You can check those out here if you'd like to see more about the features of our coop. But this is just the shed style or build your own shed style, which we did. My husband built. This is a very common style for serious chicken keepers, people who have a lot of chickens, etc. It's meant to be very long-term, anywhere from 20 to 30 years or beyond, with good maintenance. It will cost a lot more, but again, it will last longer. The cost can range anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 or much more if you plan on buying a shed that's already made, for example. This can also increase your property value, particularly if you maintain it and you live in a rural community where it's more desirable to have a permanent structure like this. It's also going to be more weather and predator resistant. I have my friends here to help me talk about it. Oh, yeah. Is something on my boot? The second style of chicken coop is a hoop coop. This is another common and popular chicken coop style. It's very affordable at a cost of typically between $100 and $300 at various retailers. They do come in different sizes to suit your needs and preferences. They're not designed to be permanent, but they are easy to build. They do provide good ventilation for chickens. They're much less sturdy than a permanent structure and would therefore be susceptible to weather. They are also difficult to keep them warm in winter weather. And personally, I also think that they would be less predator or even pest proof as well. Up next at number 3 is the chicken tractor or mobile coop. It is another popular option and one that ranges a lot in cost, however. You can make or buy one anywhere from $200 to several $1,000s depending on the size and features. The key feature of the chicken tractor though is that it can be moved and relatively easily. If it's larger or heavier, you may need a tractor to move it to a new location around your yard. But there are plenty that are small enough that they can just be moved by hand. There will be wheels on one end of them, and then you just pick one end up and move it to a new location in your yard. Now, why might we want to move our chicken coop? So it's very helpful for rotational grazing. It allows for the ground where the chickens spend their days to regenerate or simply just not become bare in the first place. It can also help fertilize the ground as the chickens poop on it, and then you move it each day, then they're leaving some fertilizer behind to help it regenerate. It also offers some natural bug control. You're specifically moving your chickens where you want them to be for the day, and then they move again to a new location to eat more bugs the next day. They can also help reduce the cleaning needs that typically come with a lot of chicken coops, so that's another nice benefit to it. That may not be so great depending on your flock and your space. There might be less space for roosting inside at night or nesting during the day. They usually afford less predator protection as well, as you don't have an enclosed run, or if you have temporary fencing that you're going to use with it, that keeps your chickens right near that mobile coop, but it allows them to get out of it. Then you won't have a roof over that typically because it's something that's going to move, and again, you need it to be kind of an easy structure. The daily move of the coop and the temporary fencing may not work for you if you have a lot of physical limitations or you just don't have the time to do that sort of thing. Next up, you could do this small store-bought backyard coop. These are very affordable and can be bought from any farm supply store or ordered online. They're usually a range of $200 to $600. They may not last more than a few years, however, and having gone up kind of inspecting it for ourselves, they're usually made with materials that aren't the best. That's one thing that makes them less expensive, but I think that could also create a predator issue as well. They're only going to fit about 4 to 6 chickens, even if they say they can fit 10. That's typically not the case. However, for the low cost, and if you live in a suburb or you have a lot of neighbors, some restrictions within your neighborhood, this might be a great option for you. This also might be a good option for you if you aren't sure whether or not you want to keep chickens on a longer term basis. Maybe you want to dip your toe in the water, so to speak, and you want to see how things go. So you don't want to spend a lot on chicken housing. They also don't have to take up much space. So again, if you have that small backyard, you don't want to spend a lot. Maybe you have some neighborhood restrictions, that might actually be ideal for you. The fifth thing that we've seen people do is repurpose an existing shelter or build a shelter with repurposed materials. So the obvious benefit here is a huge cost savings. Finding free materials online to build your own or amending an existing structure to make it a coop is how you would do this. One downside though could be improper or poor materials that aren't going to last or that just aren't meant for this purpose. Using materials that don't fit together well and ultimately let a lot of wind and water in over time. I have seen this online in our research. There were some people talking about, when they were just starting out, needing to keep the chicken coop portion of things less expensive. They wanted to use their own materials, and again, things just didn't quite fit together right, didn't quite go as they were hoping, and in their case, it let a lot of water into their coop, and that obviously created a lot of other problems. And then also you just want to keep in mind making sure you're using some kind of materials that help for proper ventilation. Trapping moisture in a coop obviously can cause mold or mildew, and then also with the chickens pooping in the coop all the time, that's going to create some ammonia in the coop, and you need to be able to allow that to escape. Well, I hope that was helpful today. Go online and do your own additional research. Unfortunately, we can't show pictures here on YouTube of other people's materials that they put out there online without their permission. I'm also not affiliated with any retailers, so I just didn't want to show anything from the retailers. But all of that stuff you can research on your own to determine who's selling that where really easily. It's all at your fingertips there on the internet. But go and do that research now that you kind of know the categories of chicken coops to determine which one is going to work best for your budget, space, preferences, and needs. And again, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can see more from the Go and Grow Homestead. Thanks and have a great day.